Breakfast.
BBC Radio Bristol.
Here's another mention. We've all had a good old moan about the grey, soggy and dismal weather we've been having this year, but it's having a far more serious impact on some. Food producers, farmers, growers across our region are really struggling now, and they're bracing themselves for a pretty costly year to come. What, though, is the real impact the wet weather is having, and what's it going to mean in the months to come for them and for us who buy the food that they produce? Rich Cornock is a farmer in South Gloucestershire, and he can shed some light on the real problems being faced in the agricultural industry. Morning, Rich. How are you doing?
Hello. All right. I'm still under grey skies again.
Of course you are. Of course you are. What are you trying to grow, and what are you struggling to grow?
So I'm a dairy farmer, and so my main thing I grow, if you like, is grass. Now, you think that's very easy, but it does require quite a lot of looking after. So the impact for me on this grassland growth is I've not been able to get on with the kind of spring sort of maintenance of it, if you like. So realistically, in early spring, so probably March time, I would go out and do a thing called chain harrowing, which kind of spreads out any muck and clears all the brush and things. I'd also be rolling. I'd then be also putting out a lot of muck to get the grass growing in the spring. And what I'm really behind with, which concerns me, is I've not been able to get out with any fertiliser to really boost the grass for my spring turnout and also for my main crop, if you like, which is grass, which I'll be harvesting in about May time to put into a silage clamp to feed the cows next winter.
Right. So those are the problems for you. We always moan about the weather. We've been moaning about it tons on the show. Is it worse this year, do you think, than others?
Oh, definitely. I mean, farmers moan about the weather all the time. It's their favourite hobby. Because
it's my favourite hobby.
Yeah, well, we've all had to moan about this winter. But I've never known a winter like it. I mean, and actually, if you look back, really the problem started about last July, August, when we had a lot of rain. I would have normally made hay in July. I ended up battling on and making some in August. And then coming through, if we took the example of arable farmers particularly, their issue is that they would be planting crops in the autumn. They managed to get some wheat in, but not all of it because it was so wet. They've gone on through a rubbish winter. I'm looking at my neighbours' arable fields from here, and they're looking very poor. Some of the actual wheat has died because it's been underwater.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I can see big bare patches, which, I've never known a winter like it where the water has stayed on the ground so long.
That's it.
But it's come on through, and so they would. Some of the people who couldn't plant winter wheat would be planting spring barley because you can do that sort of later in the year. But we're missing the window for planting that, if not missed it already. So now farmers are very, very adaptable. Now I know I've heard a lot of people talking they're going to roll over to plant maize, which is a forage crop, which they could probably sell as a feed to people like me. But is there enough maize seed around to do that? Is there enough demand for maize seed? For maize crop, I don't know. But your biggest impact, I think we're going to see is next autumn, whether people like me have got enough grass stored for the cattle, but also whether there's enough wheat and stuff in the country, for the bread makers and the animal feed merchants and all that, really.
That's it. And I mean, the thing is, you are probably spending more to kind of grow and do your dairy farming and all the rest of it. But what about when you kind of sell on to supermarkets and stuff like that? Do you get any more money for that? Probably not.
No. Sometimes the better contracts, if you've got one, will be adaptable to costs. I usually find it's really quite funny. They're very slow to adapt to the rising costs, but they're very quick to make cuts. Yeah. That's how it normally works. I'm not really sure where the milk price is going yet. Everyone's hoping it's going to go up because of where we're at the moment. But the interesting thing is I've just fixed in my feed costs right through till next December. This is for animal concentrate cake, we call it, because I'm worried about the price of the animal feed later in the year. So I've done a fixed deal right through to December, which I wouldn't normally do. But I can only see it going up, the price of things like wheat.
I mean, are we being a bit kind of like panic stricken about it? I mean, we live in a wet country, don't we? We live in the southwest. I mean, it never stops bucketing down, does it?
But Well, that's weird. It's not just quite often it's regional problems, isn't it? But we've seen it. I've got friends in Ireland and stuff, and I've seen the whole of Ireland and the UK just being massively affected by rain. But do you know what? I have to say you're right. We farmers are very resilient. We usually turn things around. I've been farming a long time now, and I've been through a lot of issues with droughts, rain, BSE, foot and mouth. We survive and we keep going, and that's the nature of farming. We're adaptable kind of tradespeople, if you like, and we're used to a kind of difficult time. But this is kind of like another one that I've not experienced. I've not experienced rain like this.
Does it affect the cows?
Well, they're not very happy at the moment. They should be out in a field, really. So my spring turnout is about now. Realistically, they're waiting to be turned out, but I can't let them out yet because the ground's too soft and they'll basically decimate it. It's, imagine if you put all your school kids on a rugby pitch, what
They'll
the
just
state of
sink.
it is. So if I let them out now, there's plenty of grass there, but what will happen is they'll just decimate the pasture and then it won't recover for the next grazing after that. So I'm holding on, and they know it's spring. They know it's turnout. They're standing by the gates waiting to be going out.
Rich, good to talk to you. I hope things cheer up a bit. Thank you so much. Good luck. Richard Cornock, farmer based in South Gloucestershire.